everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. We're cooking with Mary White today. My name is Caitlin Ryan. Here at the Cannabis Alliance, we're dedicated to the advancement of a vital, ethical, equitable, and sustainable cannabis industry.
Yes.
Also, happy Juneteenth.
Right? Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's celebrated. I'm so glad the kids got off school. I mean, it's a national holiday and it should be.
And it should be. And, you know, it's sort of an interesting one too, because I just learned this recently. I think a lot of us are learning a lot about Juneteenth over the last couple of years, and really excited to continue to learn more. That this is actually more symbolic than anything,
Mhm.
because it was a Texas holiday when the Confederate States announced the
Yeah.
freedom of slavery,
Yeah.
but there were still other states in the U.S. that still practiced slavery.
Yeah.
So there was still more to come
Mhm.
from when Juneteenth started. And I think in terms of symbolism, it's really important, especially for our country as now, because it's still such an active part
Yes.
of how the United States is constructed. And we
Mhm.
still have a call to action to continue
Yes.
to right those wrongs.
Yeah.
And excited to celebrate today. And what we're cooking today is to help elevate our summer celebrations like Pride and Juneteenth and all the other ones. And
Yes.
so, Mary,
Mhm.
you are the cannabis cook extraordinaire.
Well, thank you.
You're
And,
welcome.
you know, of course, there's way chefier people than I, but what I've been working on, lo, these many years, is figuring out how to make cannabis food infused with cannabis, delicious. And that's one thing I want to work with you guys today on, right? I want to show you how to take a recipe out of a magazine and figure out how to make it good with cannabis. And, you know, the challenge, of course, is flavor profiles. So I want to talk about that a little bit. But can we just all recognize the awesome Everyday Mary J apron model?
Well, not so much the model, but the everyday Mary J.
Yeah.
So we'll get this in the chat. Mary White, you offer classes
Yes.
that people can take. So
Yes.
if what you see here, and we also have a little bit of a library on YouTube of other Cooking with Mary White ones that we have done, you can come in person and learn from Mary.
Yes.
She has a cookbook. You can order the cookbook.
Two
Two cookbooks. I was going to say, I think I missed one in there when I said a cookbook. And then if even still you want to make it more simple in stores, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to turn this into a commercial, but I do the podcast with Northwest Leaf, you know, the pot magazine, and it's really fun, and I love those guys. But when they consume cannabis, it's a big damn deal. You know, there's not vape carts, but there's, you know, a Zenko and dab rigs and machinery and equipment, right?
Lots of dishes to
Lots
do.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Wait, no. All you need is half an ounce of weed or maybe, you know, a joint. It doesn't have to be complicated. And with this cooking weed that we put together, it comes in its own cheesecloth bag. So you never have to like find cheesecloth. You decarb in the bag, you put it right in the oil or the butter in the bag, and then you don't even have to strain the oil or the butter. It's a great idea because I want you guys to be able to make your own stuff. This is grandma medicine. We've been doing it since we've been human, right? So Everyday Mary J cooking weed. It's affordable too, because you know what? It should be.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think this is new to me anyways.
Oh, yes.
You have pre-rolls.
These are
Granny Grams.
because I'm the
I love
granny.
that.
Yeah, and I call it grandma medicine, you guys, because again, simple, right? Old school stuff. Sorry. So
You can say shit.
can I say?
Yeah.
Okay. But there's 3 different kinds of granny grams. This one is Harmony, and there's 4 joints. So this is 2 grams. Okay. But Harmony is infused with mint, not just a mint terpene. There's mint in there. And the relaxing ones, obviously, it's more of an indica dominant cultivar, but there's lavender in there. And then, the energizing ones, the orange ones, they have rose. So it's really about the herb and the herbals. Yeah. And again, super affordable. So if your dispensary doesn't carry Everyday Mary J, Tell them to get their shit together. Because it's really good. And you can make, like with this half an ounce, you guys, you could make, oh, what, 6 dozen cookies, 10 dozen gummies. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
make your own stuff.
Well, and I want to say we've got Jill Walker, our operations director, moderating online, as well as Kristen Angelo is here with us live. Our audience.
Kristen. Hi, Kristen.
And to that point, like, what a fun way to bring people together, which is what we're here about today.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to jump in?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And I just have to say, don't ever stop wearing fuchsia.
Oh,
It's your
thanks.
color.
Thank you.
So
It's a really happy color.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me happy. Okay, so you guys, I've been teaching cooking with cannabis for, oh, Jesus. Well, like 12 years or some damn thing now. I don't know what happened. But what I run into continuously is the flavor. Okay. Now, what I'm using today in our barbecue sauce, look at this. This is a glycerin tincture. Okay. Now, you can use this for gummies. You can use it for sauces. You can put it in your maple syrup. It's awesome. Right?
That sounds like a great way to have pancakes.
Have a good brunch. Yeah. And this does take 24 hours to make, but I just, again, you know, you decarb your cannabis, you put it in your glycerin, and you put it in a crock pot with a cloth underneath or it'll break, but for 24 hours. And at the end of that 24 hours, you get this really thick, kind of viscous stuff. And it's initially sweet on your tongue, and then you go, ah, because it's that really intense.
Yeah, that bitter after.
Yeah, and that's mostly, I think, chlorophyll. Yeah.
The green stuff. I think, right? That's chlorophyll's the green stuff.
Yeah.
And if you are unsure what we mean when we say decarb, by the way, I did not know for the longest time that decarb is short for decarboxylation. And if you would like an internet hole to fall down, Google that word. And there's a lot of thoughts on that whole situation, but it actually is pretty straightforward.
Yep.
If you go to our playlist with Cooking with Mary on our YouTube channel, the very first episode we have, Mary walks you through decarboxylation in your oven and all the steps of doing that, and a variety of different ways then that you can infuse either. I think we did sugar, we did glycerin, we did oil.
All kind of things.
And, those can be the building blocks for any of the recipes.
Well, and you know, it's easy for us in the cannabis space to think that, oh, this is easy and da-da-da. But most people in the real world, you guys, don't know. When you say cooking with cannabis, they're like, well, you put the plant in the what? Right? So even though we know this, many people do not. So it's easy to get hung up in, you know, how cool we are and all this groovy stuff, but realize that this medicine is really applicable to almost everyone. A lot of people are scared, you know, so we just got to get over that with more education. But I also want to show you this because this is so good. But okay, first of all, I'm going through Cook's Country magazine the other day and I'm like, oh my God, blueberry barbecue sauce, hell yeah. Now, when you're thinking about, I want to infuse something for the family get together on Sunday or whatever, right? And you're going through recipes, make sure that there's something in there that can be infused. Now, this starts out with oil that you saute shallot and garlic. Well, you don't want this to be an infused oil because you're going to burn it up, right? So don't use that. Don't use infused oil there. What I did after I made the recipe and I kind of tasted it, I realized we could put in glycerin tincture because all the other stuff we're putting in is really big flavors. Yeah. So, question?
Yeah. So when you said, don't use the oil here because you're going to burn it up.
Yeah.
Does that mean if I used infused oil and heat it, I'm going to lose THC?
Yes.
Okay.
But you only,
I don't think I knew that.
oh, yeah. Anytime you get over 2.25, 250, you're going to start losing some cannabinoids. Now you can get way geeky off into this, you guys.
Like I said, it's an internet hole.
Yeah. Because if you decarb at a higher temperature for a shorter period, it can give you maximized CBD or maximized whatever. You can also use different temperatures to accent different terpenes, but again, that's sciencey. And do it yourself because, And really, the information's out there. And if your oven can get to a 342 degrees, you can maximize the terpineol, whatever. The point is that all of the substances in our friend cannabis have an effect. And we want to make sure and not, burn them off or anything like that. So what we're going to do initially is cut up this here shallot. Now, again, if you don't have a shallot, we're looking at this recipe going, God, I don't have shallots. What the hell is a shallot? It's in the onion family. And if you don't have a shallot, maybe half of a small onion diced, right? Maybe some green onion.
But shallots are the best onions.
Yeah, they're really
My
good.
personal opinion.
Yeah.
Not an onion fan, by and large. I can do
Yeah.
shallots though. Those are good.
Yeah,
They're
I like them.
mild. They're nice and mild.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So again, but think about what you could exchange. Now, I'm just going to do this kind of like you do an onion, just a little bit smaller, okay? Because you want little tiny bits of shallot. So we'll do that like that. And I was going to show you guys the onion method, but it's kind of a pain in the butt, and it's you have to watch. So again, that's on YouTube too. So we're going to put the shallot in this warm oil, and it's not sizzling too much because I didn't quite know when we were going to start talking. So
Well, because we started talking the moment I walked in the door.
there's so much to say.
So
many things to say. Now, when you guys are building a recipe, like this is starting with shallot and garlic, okay? But when you're building, think about seasoning each layer. If you just put salt and pepper on at the end, it's just going to be kind of on the top, yeah? So what you want to do, and you can get chefy, so you do it, and always salt up high, always, because otherwise it's just a big blob, yeah? So that, when it gets a little bit soft, then we'll put in the garlic there. And actually, you guys know how to squash it, right? You just go like that, kind of kill it. It's really fun if you have to do several of them, because you can get rid of any aggression that might have built up. Okay, so do like that. Yeah, now, you guys, again, looking at this recipe, yeah? It's like, okay, shallot, cool, garlic, oh, cool. Now it wants 2 tablespoons of minced chipotle. Now, again, up to you, right? Like, I have some Norwegian friends.
Say, you're looking, this is almost all Irish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be too hot for you, baby.
Well, I did grow up in Arizona,
okay.
so I've had some tolerance.
Okay.
It's not much, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
again, you
survive
guys,
it. It's
yeah.
good.
Well, the recipe says 1 to 2 tablespoons, yeah? So you know what you like. And if you want 3 tablespoons, put in 3. You're the boss of the recipe, okay? Kind of.
Mary says.
Yeah, be the boss of it. Now I can see my shallots are getting a little limp, little translucent. That's what you want. And isn't it funny, in recipes, they always say, saute till translucent. Many people don't know what that is. And when they say minced, get it small, because especially if we're at the family get together, no one wants, Aunt Edna to have a big mouthful of garlic breath. I mean, bless her heart, but you know what I'm saying.
What do you think about grating? So when I see mince, I get anxious about chopping, and so I pull out my little grater.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Is it? All right. I was curious, like, am I losing flavor that way at all?
Actually, no.
Okay.
You're actually maximizing flavor. Look at you.
Hey, laziness pays off.
Damn right.
I have Jill Walker in prep says, keep it simple, stoner. And
that's so perfect.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you all have had this experience, but you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to cook. And then maybe you're enjoying a granny gram. All of a sudden, like, what the hell is going on? Oops.
Yeah, I'm actually not allowed to partake until cooking is done, because this ADHD girl then throws some weed on top of it, and there is
nothing's happening.
No, nothing goes in order anymore. It's a real situation. I'm sure entertaining to watch, but nobody's getting fed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got all them children.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's got 8 or 10 of them. I can't
100.
keep track. It's way too many. Now, what the recipe also calls for here is 10 ounces of blueberries. They don't have to be fresh. They don't have to be organic, picked by the light of the moon. You can just get the nice frozen ones, right? But what you do after these things are sauteed and kind of getting soft, pretty much just dump everything in. Okay, and then you have to let it cook. Now, in the recipe, it then calls for, they wanted half a cup of balsamic. And when I tried it, I went, no, that it really makes it sweet. So we're going to do a third of a cup of balsamic. See, I'm the boss. And then brown sugar. Okay, brown sugar is cool. But the challenge with something like this, you got fruit, you got a sweeter kind of vinegar, you got brown sugar. You don't want it to be sweet because then it's just boring,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I know.
You know,
More sophisticated palettes.
That's right, darling.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all about the flavor profiles.
Yeah.
So we're just going to dump the, oops, still a little bit frozen berries. Woo!
Okay.
Woo! And this is when it's fun. Okay. Here, baby, why don't you do some stirring, gentle
Okay.
stirring, and I'll start dumping stuff in there.
There's one more blueberry.
Oh my God. Where? Oh my God. Thank you.
No orphan blueberries.
No. And then
Sorry.
here,
And
we'll do
my
there. There you go, honey. You
All
got all of it? Okay, baby, that's you. You're taking this home, you know.
okay.
Oh, and how strong do you want it?
Oh,
Because that's
not Mary White.
oh, not
That's a level of strong, by the way, when it comes to edibles.
look it up. It's true.
It's true. It's Google that internet as well. Let's make it medium rare.
Okay. All right.
So
50 milligrams?
for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
that's good.
Yes. And then we have 2 cups. Okay. So then you just have to do a little mathematics.
I'm gonna turn.
Alexa can help you. I don't want to say her name out loud because she'll interrupt.
Don't want to join the party.
Yeah, mine's kind of a bitch. You know?
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ever since I gave her an accent, she's like, anyway.
Oh, what accent does she have?
Well, and I love my British people, but she's British and she's and I haven't taken the time to change it because it's not that big a deal. Balsamic. Now, if you guys don't have fancy balsamic, don't worry about it. Again, we're looking for that flavor profile, yeah? So if you want it a little more acidic, go for the good old red wine vinegar, yeah? And if you like the sweetness, but you don't have balsamic, it's okay to use rice wine vinegar. You see what I'm saying? When you're doing this, first of all, think about what you like, right? Now, my super white friend here, this is going to be a little hot for her. It would be hot for me too.
Okay.
I'm also Irish and
Okay.
German.
Maybe I should, maybe I should have gone lighter on that Chipotle. That's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, it
It
smells
does-
amazing.
It does smell.
And I was gonna say, who doesn't have 5 different kinds of balsamic in their house? That's like my favorite
Is it really? Oh,
thing,
good.
and
Okay.
glazed,
Oh, yeah.
plum, fig.
Yeah.
There's a place in Wenatchee, the Private Central Market, that does that brews its own balsamic. If you happen to be over there, and they have
Oh.
like 50 different kinds of balsamic, like white peach balsamic.
Oh my God.
And
Oh, okay. That's fancy.
I'll have to
Look
I'll
at you
pick you up
being
some next
used
time I'm over there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so good.
Let's talk a little bit about dosing. Okay.
Let's.
Don't you love the mom finger? The reason I always ask is because, well, you never know. Like our friend Pearl,
Uh-huh.
a friend of ours was here one time doing one of these, and we were making, I forget, some kind of cookies or candy or something like that. Oh, it was candy, yeah.
It was candy.
And he's like, oh, we're all, oh, come on. So he had like maybe 2 milligrams of this candy. Dude had to pull off and take a nap on the side of the road. And people are so different. Obviously, he's in the cannabis line.
Yeah.
He uses cannabis, but all different.
And let's oh yeah, no, it's okay. Talk. Slow down on my job here. Eating your cannabis is a little bit more it can be more variable. Even if
Yes.
you know what you're doing, bodies and how you metabolize things change differently depending on how well hydrated you are, how well rested you're, like all kinds of different things. So even if you think you know what you're doing with eating your cannabis, still like start low, go slow is always
Please.
the rule.
Yeah.
And Burl thought he was fine, but half an hour later,
Not
not so fine.
not so fine.
And I'm sure I have my own stories. I'm sure you have your stories, Krista. I'm sure everybody's got an edible
Understand.
story at some point of
Yeah.
thinking it's all right. And
Mhm.
then mine was, I thought I could only breathe in and was worried about getting full of oxygen. And then I was able to reverse it, but then I could only breathe out and thought I was going to suffocate. By the way,
Oh, honey.
I was breathing just fine the
Yeah.
entire time.
I'm sorry, but oh my God.
Yeah, it was something else. Um,
But you're right though, girl. Everyone has one of those stories.
yeah, everybody has one.
Yeah.
And you'll hear lots of people talk about ways that you can
Calm
mitigate
down.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
CBD is a really great way to sort of take the edge off that THC. Oh, peppercorn is another really good one. Fair warning though, all of these things don't make you unhigh.
Yeah.
So these are
They
not
just-
tricks that you can use to then get in a car and drive
Oh God, no.
or operate heavy machinery.
No heavy machinery.
Or
Even lightweight machinery.
even
Just forget machinery altogether.
people around me know there are times where I hand my phone over. Like,
Oh,
I'm not allowed
oh.
to touch that
I
for
understand.
a couple hours.
Well, true confession, just the other day, I was a little sad and,
Oh.
because, my cat passed and I was a little sad and pick up that phone and all of a sudden I'm buying shit, oh, that lipstick will make me feel better. Oh, look, a new brassiere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so try not to do that.
Try not to do that. Yeah. But so there's ways to handle it. And then also always remember, like, cannabis is not going to kill you.
Oh, exactly.
If you can go to sleep, just go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, take off your
Go
bra.
to sleep, take off your bra.
Yeah. What's true
Get in
though.
a calm, quiet spot and it will for sure pass.
Well, and when you intellectually know
Yeah.
that there's no receptors in the brain stem, it's not going to get up in there and make you quit breathing.
Yeah.
You're just a little too high. And you cannot die, though you might feel like it, but you're not gonna. So cannabis is a beautiful medicine. Now, a lot of people, and I'm not calling out young males, but a lot of people just want to get big, right? And that's okay. Once in a while, you want to just lose your edges and drool, rock on. But in reality, this is a beautiful medicine that you can use just little bits of throughout the day. You don't have to be drooling and losing your water. Not that I've ever done that. But when you lose it and it's in your hand, you're too high.
Yeah.
So, and let me.
Or when it's in your hand and you don't know it's in your hand until you drop it, go, oh, there's my water.
There it is. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But let me talk to you a little bit too about dosing, because that's very important. Now, think of it as always doing a 1-to-1. Okay. Now, if you're using the Everyday Mary J cooking weed, okay, this is half an ounce of beautiful cannabis. So half an ounce, you would use half a pound of butter or half a pint of oil. Yeah. 1-to-1. And with 1-to-1, you're always going to get around 100 milligrams per gram. Got that? 1 gram of cannabis, 100 milligrams of happiness. Yeah. So you can then, subtract, add, do what you need to do, figuring out that this is going to be about 50 milligrams per tablespoon. Yeah.
So just doing some financial math there.
Financial.
If you consider purchasing and by the way, we buying an edible in a store is a great idea.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have lots of people do a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're using this as medicine and finances are of a concern, I actually have two thoughts on that.
Yeah.
1 gram equaling 100 milligrams, that's tremendous savings if you're going to do this on your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you cook with cannabis, you don't have to buy that beautiful, tight, frosty bud. No, get the mids, it's okay because you're not smoking it.
Yeah. And then my other thought about cost savings, which is one thing I did want to talk to you about because we haven't had a chance to celebrate together.
Yes.
Very recently, as in fact, 2 Thursdays ago.
Yeah.
On June 6th.
Yeah.
Washington State. Now, if you are a registered patient, buying medically compliant product at a medically endorsed store, you no longer have to pay the 37% excise tax.
37%, people.
in addition to the already discount of the sales and use tax,
Yes.
that can be nearly 50% savings in
Yeah.
tax if you are a registered patient buying DOH compliant product at a medically endorsed store.
And I will tell you, because I immediately got on the register, because, well, I grow my own cannabis for the classes, and you can't grow without the thing. But I really want to thank you guys, the Cannabis Alliance, because some people think, oh, it's no, you people, they're in Olympia harassing people like for years. This stuff takes fucking years, you guys. So huge thanks for the excise tax. Maybe next it'll be legal. Who knows? But
well, yeah, and I do want to talk about that too. I do really quickly though about the excise tax. It's only been 2 weeks, and I just want to warn patient folks. In part of the law right now, if you are looking to become a registered patient, when you go to get that authorization, you do need to see a physician in person. There are some online folks who are saying that they can give you your recommendation online, and really painfully, at least from my perspective, they're charging fees up front. Up to $100, $150, $200.
175.
175. And that is illegal. And that authorization that you get online, it will not be honored. Maybe in these early days, it might kind of slip through the cracks as people are learning the things, but I don't imagine that's going to last very long. And I want to make sure that patients aren't being taken advantage by unscrupulous folks telling them that they're doing something legal when they're really not. So beware. There are lots of authorizing physicians that will see you in person, that will have established care, and you can go ahead and get your authorization that way. But let's not give those online folks your money.
That stuff is shady, because I checked into that last year when I was got my authorization. I'm like, wait a minute. Hang on. I don't know you. What the hell?
Yeah, and especially the places that charge up front before they even talk to you. Should always be a big red flag that something shady's going on there.
Yeah. So watch that, you guys. But at the same point, when you can make your own, it makes so much difference.
Speaking of making your own, well, we're waiting for this to reduce, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm looking at your gorgeous plants, which is one of the things you can do as a patient. However, if you are not a patient, it is still a Class C felony here in Washington State to grow a plant. So if you're not a patient,
don't be growing the plants.
Which is something that we have been working on really since the passage of I-502. We're going to continue to work on it. We have some new strategies that we're working on implementing. And one of those big ones is really building a coalition of support, because most Washingtonians don't even know that that's the case. Because you can just go buy it in a store. Why would it be a problem to grow a plant or two or three?
People come to class like, well, where are you at seeds? I go, forget seeds, son. You got to get authorized.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people, when I first signed up, they're like, oh, you're going to be on the registry. Well, come on. If you're on the internet, whoever you're worried about, they know where you are. They can always find you. It doesn't matter if your name is on the registry or whatever. So please don't worry about that. The people aren't going to come to the house and arrest you. That's not happening. So it's really worth it to me. And I will say, because I have my card, I got these gorgeous clones from the Clone House in Lake Stevens. And really, you guys, it's worth it just to get this beautiful cannabis, because, it's so cool. And it's really, I hate the word empowering because it's so overused, but it's really empowering. I have gone, and I think I've told you guys this, but I was on 7 prescriptions, and now I'm on none. Well, except for my hormones. But because, I want to stay a girl. But this is, I don't even drink. I wasn't ever a big drinker, but cannabis is kind of fills up all the empty spots. And you know that sooner or later, when work is done, you can chill, puck out. Especially if you use the purple granny grams. Now, what's happening right now, you guys, is this is boiling, as you can probably see. To let it boil for a little bit, we want to reduce the liquids. And again, did you smell that? Ooh, that's,
balsamic.
Ooh, and chipotle, which are really smoked and preserved jalapenos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jalapenos.
I know, I call them that too. You're so weird. I love
You're
that.
so
No,
weird.
you are. So you guys, if you see a recipe and you think, yeah, I want to make infused sesame cookies, or I want to make those lemon cocktail crackers, um, think about additions to a menu. Yeah. Because if you go to that family reunion and you're bringing a big old meatloaf with 150 milligrams of pot in it, that's a bad idea. Just a bad idea. But, and again, Aunt Edith, you don't know, right? But if you go to the reunion with your own ketchup, your own salad dressing, maybe your own barbecue sauce, yeah, that's what you want to do, right? And then you're the boss. You know how much is in there, you know how much you're going to ingest. You're in charge.
And then, although the traditional cousins walk is always lovely and nice.
Oh,
You know,
that,
when
yeah,
you go,
yeah, yeah.
hey, you just want to go for a walk,
Get some fresh air.
some fresh air. You can just actually then instead share your side dishes,
Yeah.
which also you know, it should never need to be said. And I think most people get this, but we don't ever dose other
Oh,
people,
God.
right? Like consent, bodily consent
Mm.
applies to giving somebody edibles that didn't want it,
Yeah.
or medicated food. So always make sure, and this is, sorry, I'm on a soapbox now. But also there's the on purpose dosing that is super, super like, again, this is a consent. You're
Yeah.
violating somebody's body if you do that. Really,
Absolutely.
you are. But then there's also the accidental version where you haven't labeled your stuff properly or stored it properly. And I mean, just imagine that story we were talking about where
Yeah.
you've overdone it yourself.
Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't know what was
You didn't
happening.
know.
That would be terrifying. So just always safe storage. Make sure that if you're putting stuff in communal food storage places,
Yeah.
like the refrigerator, or whatever, you're writing in big capital letters.
Yes.
This has weed in it.
Yeah.
And I just very recently heard a story about somebody who brought brownies to work.
No.
Which I don't know what work setting that.
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
the
we don't
hell?
even do that.
No, we don't do that.
Right. And some people didn't know what was happening. You know, it wasn't labeled. I know it's awful. Anyway, so just make sure everybody knows what's going on with the food.
Well,
if
and you
it's
know what?
medicated.
Yeah, and what really pisses me off too about that is that person will probably now always hate cannabis,
Yeah.
right? And they're going to be that one that goes, "Well, I did it one time and I had schizophrenia," or whatever. I have some friends from high school because we all went to school here in good old Seattle, and well, I tried it in 1968 and I didn't like it. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? It's 55 years later. Things are different.
Different.
And eating it really is until you have to really be aware, you guys. This, like I say, grandma medicine, yeah. And with grandma medicine, you got to see how you feel. It isn't the doctor saying, "Oh, here, Caitlin, take 0.25 milligrams." No, you're going, "Well, I used a tablespoon, so let's see how I feel." Now, if you are experimenting and you're not really familiar with edibles, like you said, don't be, eating and then going and doing something. Just give yourself a couple hours, maybe 3. And the reasoning is, of course, when you inhale cannabis, your lungs, brain, you're high. But when you eat it, it's goes, "Oh, da, 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 da." And then when it hits your liver,
That's what it sounds like. Somebody put a microphone on.
yeah, just like that.
Da, 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 da.
But then delta 9 THC is transformed into delta 11, which is stronger and lasts longer. This is great if if you're really ill or if you just want to be high all day. But just be aware, it's a totally different situation. Now, this has quit boiling, and when it cools, it's going to thicken up quite a bit. Yeah. But I'm only going to put in 1 tablespoon of delicious tincture because I don't want you falling over.
Thank you.
You're taking this home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also everybody's endocannabinoid system is different.
Exactly.
I find for myself inhaling cannabis, I can take in quite a good amount.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it that way.
Yep.
If I am eating cannabis, I got to keep it small.
All right.
And then there's Mary, who whatever I'm not able to consume, she'll take it.
That's just so terrible. I always forget how terrible it is. My mouth, ooh, there we go. Now, fine, you guys. Laugh at the stoner.
Oh.
Okay, now we have to taste.
All right.
Okay, it's just a tiny bit. You won't get all crazy.
I believe you. Yeah,
Okay. She
I'm
believes
good.
me.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, and here's an
Mhm.
interesting thing that I have learned as well. That I find that when I'm the homemade version, just like a lot of food,
Mhm.
my body processes it a little bit better also. That when it's
Mm.
not made from a distillate that's gone through a variety of
Yeah.
processes, that when
Yeah.
I've actually made it, like when I eat the stuff that we've made here,
Mhm.
my body handles it better.
Because your body is smart. Our bodies are smart, right? And when I first started, because I used to smoke a little here, and it's good, huh?
Um,
It's
it's
really
got some zip.
oh,
It's you know what though? It's not that. It's decent.
I think we had a blueberry sauce on one of the meat sections that we had at lobby day reception.
mm,
We did, and it was
blueberry.
this with here.
Oh yeah, have some. Go ahead, put a spoon in there. It's fine. We're all family. We got no germs.
Yeah, you're gonna take half of this too.
There you go. Mm. But and I like the heat because it's there and then it goes away.
Yeah, it's actually not.
Well, my
too bad.
tongue is doing a happy dance.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
On
good,
a-
huh?
I like the spice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, whew. And the nice thing about this, you guys, too, it's vegan, obviously. But you guys, there's a lot of vegans running around loose now. And I love them. I get it. And they're absolutely right. But at the same point, I'm still eating chicken once in a while. But with the whole vegan thing, you do have to be aware of the fats. Like,
Mhm.
you don't want to do butter, you don't want to infuse honey. But at the same point, something like this on honestly fried tofu, I mean,
That would be pretty darn delicious
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
some big mushrooms also. I bet you
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
sauteed.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. And for the omnipresent omnivores, um, chicken and pork especially, this would rock.
I am making pork chops for dinner tonight
Oh
already.
my
It was
God.
going to be pork chops and applesauce,
Oh,
but I think mine's going to have some.
yeah. Well, and I was going to say, infuse the applesauce. I'm like, no, she's got 800 children. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
No, but I will say one of them is a kiddo with epilepsy, and we
Oh.
struggle a lot sometimes with getting medicine in because it tastes bad
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
for him. And so some of these actually we use to help
That's a
actually
good idea.
deliver it in a way that doesn't make him
Yeah.
really upset.
Yeah. Does he like gummies? Making some gummies?
Yeah, he does. He does. The problem is, as anybody, families that have folks with epilepsy, the volume of cannabinoids that has to go in is pretty. So the
A
just
lot.
it has to be a lot. Yeah.
So a
So
5
we look
milli.
for tincture delivery methods.
Yeah. Okay.
For the
Yeah.
most part. But yeah. Uh, so maybe applesauce is a good idea.
I know. Put some in there. Well, and I hope you guys are understanding that this is totally up to you, right? Like I said, I used to take all those pills. Now I don't. But it was experimentation. There were a couple of times, especially when I was writing the cookbooks. I'm like, oh, going to bed now. See you later, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
I just get really horny. And well, and this is the thing, it's
Sounds like a terrible side effect.
Oh, but point is, you guys, this is a wonderful, wonderful medicine, and you can make it delicious. If you find a recipe you like,
So I was going to ask you because speaking of the flavor profile on this it is very this is a great recipe.
yeah,
And I was aware there was cannabis in there very faintly,
yeah,
but in a way that was complementary.
yes,
And I am sure, I mean, I know I have also eaten things where it's like, oh, I also just chewed on some grass.
yeah, yeah.
What are you looking for when you're looking for complementary flavors?
Very good question. A lot of times I find it's hard to compliment.
Mm.
Sometimes you got to just hide that stuff. And what I found is cinnamon, of all things, like a tablespoon of cinnamon just in my regular brownie recipe doesn't give you a cinnamon taste, but you also don't get the cannabis taste. Yeah, and you can use sometime lemon
Interesting.
zest is nice. If you use too much lemon though, you might get too much limonene and kind of get, wacky.
Hmm.
It's really, I would say it's really up to you because again, we're all different,
Mhm.
but cinnamon and lemon for sure are wonderful. And well, like this one, because balsamic and Worcestershire sauce and all the things kind of hidden, you know.
Mhm.
If you have loud cannabis, like that tincture is, right? You want, whew, because okay, when I was first making that, I'm like, oh, I'll put it in my smoothie. Don't do that. But if you do want something in your smoothie, I would actually suggest just an infused oil, even olive oil.
Hmm.
Plus, it's good for your coat, you know. There's just a lot of ways to play with the flavor of cannabis, and I want you guys to try it. People think it's hard, right? I had some friends, oh, well, I don't have cheesecloth. Well, you know what? You don't need cheesecloth with everyday Mary Jane. It's just a matter of infusing. Think of it like tea, right? It's like tea. It's like a big pot of delicious tea. So I'm going to put this in a little container for you so you can
Okay.
take it out. Maybe
Thank
one
you.
divide
Yeah,
it in
yeah,
half.
yeah.
Yeah, she's like all shiny over here. Yeah, yeah.
I did interrupt you with that flavor profile question. You were about ready to say if we run into a recipe that we might want to infuse.
Oh, yeah. Just make sure that there's something in there to infuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like with this one, there wasn't really anything other than that oil. And I don't want to do that. But I knew that just a tablespoon of tincture wouldn't like make it too liquid or make it too this or too that. Right.
Mhm.
But at the same point, you can't just blithely start pouring shit into your recipes because you can get too much oil and butter. You can get too much and then it's going to be funky. So try and keep it measurement wise close to what they have in the recipe and then play.
Mhm.
Yeah. I always say make it once and then make it how you want to. That's my motto.
Good.
Yeah. Because that's
one.
cooking, you guys. People think cooking is this big mysterious thing. No. What do you like? What tastes good? How do you get it in there? you know?
Pretty basic stuff.
Yeah.
I have found, and again, if you look back, we have this making sugar when you taught us
Oh,
how to
yeah,
make
yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
And specifically then using that sugar to make whipped cream.
Mhm.
Genius. And
Yeah.
then sugar, yeah, what a great like you were talking about an easy to dose
Mhm.
small thing that can be added or not added
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can infuse sugar, you can infuse salt, though you're probably not going to use a tablespoon of salt on each individual dish. But there's so many things you can infuse. And I would really encourage you guys to think about that other than a soup pot full of soup full of pot. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want pot soup. Now, on that soup, you might want a little pot pesto, a little drizzle of something, something. Yeah, but think about everybody, grandma's here, grandkids here. They don't want to get high. Well, grandma probably does. I know I do. But it has, you can make food that's cool for everybody and then add.
Yeah.
I like mayonnaise, infused mayonnaise. I might have been dipping fries in it yesterday.
Oh, we're gonna have to learn how to do infused mayonnaise. I
Yeah.
guess you just use the oil, right? And then
Yeah.
mayonnaise is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do that by hand.
I was going, damn, she's so French and fancy.
No, that goes in an electric mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even a food processor,
Yeah.
for your mayonnaise, but it's really
It
good.
sticks around. Yeah, I got a little bit of a runny nose.
Hang on.
But not overwhelming. It's delicious.
Mm.
It's delicious.
Mhm.
Um,
If you didn't have blueberries, you could do almost any berry. This could be cherries. It could be whatever you have frozen in the Trader Joe's frozen section. Though probably not mango. Though I have read mango gets you higher.
I've heard that too.
Yeah,
I've not tested it.
me neither. We
Curious
should
if anybody's tested that.
test that.
I don't know.
We should do
Next
that
time.
next time.
Down for mango anytime. It's
Okay.
delicious and
I know.
amazing.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
All right.
Is that okay? Did we talk long
Absolutely.
enough?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're good. Mary, thank you so much.
just-
Yeah, always, always.
Mm, you smell good.
Oh, thanks. So do you. Um, uh,
She
I don't
wants, she wants to say thank you so much
I do.
for watching.
For watching. And if you want to get in touch with Mary, maryjwhite.com.
Yeah, maryjinitialwhite.com.
And here at the Cannabis Alliance, listen, we love having a good time with you, Mary, and the opportunity to talk about important things, but also
Yeah.
learn how to do all of this great stuff. I hope everybody has a great time during your summer celebrations again today. Happy Juneteenth, happy Pride.
Yes.
And we're dedicated to the advancement of a vital, ethical, equitable, and sustainable cannabis industry. If you're interested in membership or participating in any of our multiple initiatives, some of which are legislative, but we are also really involved in the community in a variety of different ways. One important one that you'll see lots of information coming out. By the way, if you happen to have a simple possession charge or paraphernalia conviction, anytime between 1971 and 1921,
Oh,
you are entitled possibly to some refunds of your court fees and legal
Seriously?
costs based on the Blake decision. So we've been working with the Office of the Public Defender to start getting the word out.
wow.
That you just, I think we just got the website up in the chat, or we will. You can just sort of reach out and they'll help you figure out how to vacate those records, as well
Wow.
as see if you have any money that is coming back to you
Wouldn't that be
based
cool?
on that conviction, which is really cool. And so
Yeah.
we're involved in all kinds of things. If you want to join the movement, you can check us out, thecannabisalliance.us. We'd be happy to have you on board. With that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, everybody.
We're going to
Thanks,
have
Mary.
a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are. But thanks, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
See you.